2025 was the worst year of my life. That's such a strong statement to make. I get it. I've put a lot of thought into this actually, and looking back through the years of my life, there are some bad ones that stick out for sure. They're there, but I think by multitude alone, this one takes the cake. Now, this is not to say there aren't amazing things that came from this year. There was, I swear. I casted and directed a one act, and it was one of the best directing experiences I've had so far. Honestly, that entire directing class was the best I took at my community college. I loved that class, and I miss you all dearly. I moved into my dream school, not kidding. I hit the 4-year mark with my boyfriend. I turned 21. It's not too bad, right? Wrong. Okay, clearly I have to talk about the state of the world alone was enough to have a bad year. Since the beginning of the year, we have been bombarded with bad news. Just wars, children dying, starving, robots stealing everything, rights being stripped, and the world continues to heat faster than we can pump those brakes, and it gets tiring. I've spent many a night curled up in a ball on my floor, crying, because the doom scrolling got to me, among all of the other stuff. So here's the personal stuff. The last semester at my community college was the best one I ever had. So leaving that hurt worse than expected. And not to mention the week before graduation and all of that. My brother's graduation came right after mine. Not that bad, but it brought an overwhelming sense of dread about our childhood coming to an end, because he's now officially done with college and he's had a real job for pretty much this whole year. The thought that it won't be long until my brother isn't a walk down the hallway anymore weighed on me the entire summer, thinking about the fact that I was not going to still live at home when my school started. When did we become adults, I really feel this was the most foreboding summer of my life. I knew college move-in was coming. I knew I would be leaving my childhood home, my bedroom. I've never spent more nights of my life up late looking at my room, just crying, just staring at the wall. It caused a lot of bedridden days where I wanted to be productive, but I just wanted to be with my room. And I felt like I just couldn't handle it not feeling the same. And then move-in was its own can of worms. Excitement, of course, but there's nothing weirder either. I'm the youngest. My parents trying to deal with the youngest leaving nearly 20 hours from home. It's not that easy. Homesickness is the thief of joy for a college kid. And going from my home to this dorm, everything is so different and it gets really weird. And that all also means the furthest away I've ever been from my boyfriend. Choosing college was hard in itself for that exact reason. And making that decision between this great school or the one your boyfriend is currently attending can never be an easy decision. Long distance is hard. It brings its own set of challenges, but it's what we both need to do. This is how we need to work this, of course. Coming to terms with that is hard. The missing is worse. Honestly, the best part kind of about this year is how good me and my boyfriend have been together this year. Coming back home was relieving, honestly. I was just happy to be in my bed and see my dog. I missed everything, and I missed the Midwest. It snowed basically as soon as I got there, and I could not have been happier. I was waiting for the snow. But it also came with a strange feeling. I'm socially awkward anyway, and I overthink everything, so this could just all be me. I feel like I had no idea how to talk to my friends. I don't know if anyone feels the same way or if anyone's had a similar experience traveling for college. I still love my friends. They're still so dear to me. And I still had a great time when I met with them, but I felt so out of place. I really think it's all internal, but it's not a fun feeling trying to come back to normal when so much has changed and you haven't seen these people for months. It really, for my awkward ass, it was really weird. In ranking this year as the worst year, I thought back to the previous worst years, and they were all mental health being bad, heavy, you know. I figured this one was worse because issues I thought were long, long gone showed me that they are, in fact, not. I'm fine. I'm completely fine. But damn. This year's tried to do everything it could to me. Genuinely tried so hard. And your mental health just takes a beating. This year brought my first grandparent loss. I lost my grandma this year. Even worse, it was a day before my directing show had their opening night. A week before my graduation, and, well, it just sucks anyway. She was the grandma at every event. Kind of the only grandparent I really had any true relationship with as a kid. In my directing class, I had actually made a silent scene about the situation, and I made my entire class cry. Basically, as soon as the year started, her health declined. And eventually, dementia was thrown around on top of the million other health conditions she had. Dementia is entirely not easy. And trying to be there for your mom while she loses hers is a weird situation in general. I remember one night my mom was keeping me updated. She was in the hospital with my grandma and was going to be up so late. I stayed up all night. I didn't go to sleep until I heard that garage door open. I never said anything to my mom. I never told her I was up with her that night. I just felt that I needed to. The night we said goodbye sits in a black blot in my memory that I have to purposely peel back the layers to see. I read the first scene of my book out loud for the first time. My whole family was in the room. That never happens. We got in graduation gowns just to show her, and my amazing cast at the time let rehearsal that afternoon be recorded so she could see it. She wasn't saying much then, but she was still able to say we looked pretty, that my book was good, and she liked the dancing in my scene. At her funeral, my brother played Amazing Grace on the bagpipes, and I told a little story about my grandma, about how we would always talk at Christmas. My family is not very tight-knit. We don't really get together. So seeing my entire family in one room for all of this was weird. In my story, I talked about Christmas. That's really just the four of us, and then Grammy visits. She usually just sits in the living room, but no matter what, at some point in the day, Grammy and I end up just sitting there talking, our own quiet corner. I told the room about one of our most memorable conversations. Coming up to Christmas, remembering that story was so hard. Graduating without her, moving to college without her, everything was already hard, but Christmas? There's really no way to get through that. And then the week I moved into college, my Opal was put on hospice and found out he had dementia. So after only a few months of having to go through all of that with Grammy, we're starting the process all over again. That's just sort of how 2025 decided things were going to work. I remember the jokes that passed around during 2020 about how mean everyone was to 2019. And it was just ironic. Maybe some karma too. I hope that's not what I'm about to do with my 2026. But I remember those memes going around and I would say, all high and mighty, not me. In the New Year's of 2019, I made a love letter to the entire year. One of the best years of my life so far. Not the top anymore, but it's really up there. And this is what I hope to do with my 2026. I really like having a birthday and New Year's Eve because the start of the year is really the start of everything for me. New year, new age, new me coming soon. That's really the goal this year. Getting back into the things you used to love is so important. Romanticize life. Find the joy in everything. Laugh a little louder. Whatever middle school you found interesting, she was right. She was always right. Find it again. Starting new things is hard. Finding yourself in this crazy, confusing world is even worse. But it's important to do. It's completely important to do. And it's not that hard when you look back and you realize that you have people around you. And if you don't have people around you, look a little harder. This year, I went through so much. And obviously, I'm not even giving you all of the details. That's a little too personal. But I had friends to sit there and laugh with. I had my roommates and the people I met at school and just the beautiful friendships that I was able to make here. And I got to see just how much I meant to my friends by being so far away and just hearing how the amount of times I would get a text about how I'm missed. It's heartwarming. And I have my family, which is more important than anything. My brother continues to be my best friend even when we're 20 hours apart. I continue to enjoy just being in my family's presence. And yes, it gets hard not being by them. It has been a year full of love and new levels. Long distance is hard, but it tests your love and it makes sure that it's real. And when you find that it is, it's so much more beautiful. So all I can say for you is to find the people who make you feel special and make them feel special back. And turn to them when everything is so incredibly dark. Turn to your hobbies. I cannot describe how helpful it is to have a hobby when you are losing everything around you. Or when the world is just hard to look at, you can sink into something that you truly love and you can forget about it truly for a little while. Your phone is not going to distract you from the world, it's just going to show it to you. But a small hobby that you have, that will really be your escape. That will be your safe space. Go out, see things in the world, take a chance, be safe, but always be searching for those big opportunities. And believe in yourself. Most of all, believe in yourself that you can do these things. If I didn't believe that I could get through any of these things, I would not be as positive as I am right now. If I didn't have belief in my dreams that they are possible and real, I wouldn't be at the school. So you have to believe in yourself and you have to have fun. I trust very, very much that everything's going to be all right.
This year I'm becoming my own. This year I'm becoming my own home. This year I'm becoming
2, 1.